5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You rocking now with the Homeboy Etiquette podcast. It's your main man over at the 5280Q. Pass it to my partner in crime, the Arc Reactor.
Yo, this is Kemet the Raw, representing Homeboy Etiquette here on YouTube. Also representing KMT Games and KMT Productions here on YouTube. I think that we're going to have a subject tonight that's going to kind of hit close to home for a lot of people out here.
All right, the subject title is Giving Up or Are You Letting Go? Are you giving up? Or are you letting go? Are you quitting like a little bitch? Or are you like, do I really even need to do this? No. I'm good. Take this shit the fuck off. I'll reach the moment in my life where I'm at peace. Fuck this. All right. So we're talking about giving up and letting go right now. So some of us out here walking around in this life, we have dreams. You all had dreams since we was kids. And then some of us want to be, the most popular dream is, holy shit, I want to be a rap star, rock star, music star, some shit like that. This shit seems like it's pretty simple and fucking easy. Let me give my shot out this. Let me try my hand at this. And all of a sudden I try it out and then I was like, yeah, dog, I made this song. Everybody should fucking love this song. I'd press that drop.
You stupid.
What is that?
I dropped that mixtape like it was hot fucking probably garbage, but it's like yeah, dog, I'm in the studio, bump my shit. It's like, yo, why ain't nobody bumping my shit? Let me drop another one real quick. They don't know how fire I am right now. Drop another one, all something like that, and it's like, oh, that shit's fire, right? And then nobody's listening to it. It's like, mom, come on, man, mom, put this on your playlist, mom. Mom, come on, man. Yo, talking to your right hand man. It's like, yo, dog, come on, man, you love my shit, right? It's like, I don't know, nigga. You about to be feeling like Drake and those car rides, feeling like he was losing this, cause that girl asked you if she can listen to Ludacris. You ain't really have it back then, right now, some shit like that. Anyway, so the point is, do you give up? Do you give up on the dream? Or do you? What's the other option again?
Oh, is it giving up or are you letting go?
And you figure out you can't be that dude. You don't got that energy. You don't got that hypeness around you. You don't got whatever the fuck it is need to be carried around you. You don't got that hard work ethic, willing just to go through the pressure and be consistent about your goddamn shit, whatever the fuck you doing. Or like, and that's in the direction of a career path or what you do for a living. So are you giving up and just, I can't measure up, or are you just
accepting reality
and leaving it behind and going, you know what, man, I was a better electrician than a rapper anyway, so shit, man, let me turn on the fucking lights.
Right, and like, so that's a good way to segue it, because that's kind of the direction I want to start into, because there's a lot of different ways that this subject can be interpreted. So in terms of like goals and dreams and aspirations and stuff like that, sure, like as Q was basically just saying, there comes a tipping point where if you're trying to be realistic about the situation, you really start to ask yourself these questions, right? So we hear a lot of stories from people who have made it, right? People who have made it big, people who basically said, I'm gonna burn the boats. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna allow myself to fail because this is what I really want to do, right? My first example to point you guys to would be American Idol.
Ooh.
Now there would be there's a ton of people every single year, and a lot of those people, like, shout out to Brandon Rayeli Matoyer. He wasn't able to make it today. I tried to get him to come through, he couldn't do it. He even went for American Idol, right? And what he wound up finding out is that this is kind of inside, but there were some people who are really good who they said no to, and there were some people who are really bad that they said yes to. And that's, of course, for ratings and things like that, so that people can see how ridiculous and delusional some people are when it comes to, do you actually think you can sing, right? So I'm starting off with American Idol in this regard, specifically because there are people, you hear it every time they get kicked off the show. Well, you're gonna see one day I'm gonna be something. You're gonna be sorry. You're gonna be sorry when I become big and you didn't get me on your show. Now,
boy, if you don't get...
Exactly, bro. And like, so what it comes down to is, now there are some people who have the work ethic and combine that with their natural talents. And if they basically just need to keep working and basically overwork themselves to the point of where they come across enough opportunities to where one sticks. Now, when it comes to people like that, where they actually have legitimate validation, and now since we have demographics and things like that, where you can actually find out if you're good at music and things like that or not, with legitimate validation, legitimate numbers, actually building your fan base, even if you start small, you could probably get somewhere pretty comfortable in terms of living a lifestyle. Now, there are some people on the other side of the coin, as we all know, that are completely delusional, where...
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Completely delusional. And so to the point of where it doesn't matter how long they practice, it doesn't matter what opportunities they get. For example, you can't be a great singer if you're tone deaf. You know what I mean? You can't be a great singer if you're tone deaf. So at some point, you know what I mean? I'll refer a shout out to Eddie Griffin, where everyone thinks they're Billy Badass until they run into Billy Badass, where you think you're hot shit and that you're tough until you run into the guy who's legitimately hot shit, legitimately a fighter. You get your ass beat, and then you decide, you know what? I'm also good at math. And so instead of becoming a professional boxer, you decide to double down on your real life skill and become a mathematician or an accountant or something. So you're never gonna beat Mike Tyson.
You decided not to be childish and to grow the fuck up and be...
I'm a big kid now.
Yeah, so in this situation, I would say that that's not giving up. That's letting go of a fucking delusion. You know what I'm saying? So what do you have any personal things that you've tried in your past, where you reach that fork in the road where it's just am I going to go ahead and commit down this road, knowing that I'm not that great right now, but maybe I could become great? And the other side of the road is I should quit while I'm ahead and double down on my skills. Have you ever had a moment like that?
I had a moment where I let go, because what I let go of was being a musician, being a rapper, being an artist and stuff like that. So I looked at it at that point, I was like, I did it just to get by, just to have an expression, got good at it, ciphered, had fun throughout the fucking years and shit, built up the skill base, and I still love it. And I have a love for the art craft of rap, art, music, and music in general. Even rock, punk rock, and folk music and everything like that. I can, you give me a drum machine, some people that can play some shit, I can fucking orchestrate it out there, orchestrate a new song. But I figured there was a lot of people already involved in it already that were just good at it and making music, and I was right in that regard because there was a lot of great music out here.
Well, I mean, can I interject with this one question? I don't know about you guys, but I've literally personally done ciphers with this guy. I've heard a lot of his music. He has all the talent there. You know what I mean? All the talent is there. The skill set's there. He could literally start freestyling this second and then just go forever, right? With that being the case, now, do you think that that's a matter of, I almost feel like for you, that would be giving up. Because I think all you really would need is a great marketing strategy and maybe establishing an image to be able to actually get down that road. Because it really is hard to break into the rap game. So what it really comes down to is money. Because there are some rappers who weren't that great, but because they had so many people behind them, it was able to establish an image and a brand. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's true. You got a lot of backing them like that. But shit. It could be more of giving up and also letting go, because at the same time, it's I love the art of rap. Mm-hmm. It's my girl Candigs. I love Eminem. I grew up on Eminem. Of course, growing up in Detroit.
Yes!
Yeah, my grandmother had CDs of Eminem, but Eminem through the ages, that motherfucker has not fallen off. She's I hate his flow, his rapid flow. My favorite Eminem album is the Recovery album, because that album, that shit was cold from front to fucking back. And and then everything else after recovery. So I think you can separate it pre-recovery to post-recovery. That motherfucker just keeps improving even slightly.
And here's the crazy part about Eminem as well. To your point, here's the thing about Eminem is that his first album that he released, Infinite, yes. I thought it was fucking fantastic. Like, because I loved the lyricism of it. I loved the complexity of the rhymes that he was saying. I thought it was unique. I thought it hit. You know what I mean? But here's the thing is that was his worst album, and it almost wrecked him. It almost wrecked his career. Because the response that it actually got wasn't as positive as he thought he needed. You know, shout out to Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was just like, this motherfucker can spit. I'm taking him under my fucking wing, and I'm gonna show you guys that he's an actual animal. Maybe he was a little bit misguided because, like, he does what a lot of nerd black guy rappers and new upcoming white rappers do, where it's like, if you just say, well, I'm talking to the general populace, using my eyes like an oculus, blah blah blah, and then it's not really wordplay. You're just putting like multi-syllable words. It's multisyllabics.
No. It's like it's usually all like it shit makes sense. It makes sense. You can trace it. It makes sense. It's like
makes sense to me because I can read.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, shout out to
got big vocabulary, nigga.
Fuck yeah, literary bastards over here.
Wait, I got some. Yeah.
You stupid.
All right. But like it's like letting it go. It's like the same thing when I let boxing, jiu-jitsu, just like I was like, there's other people doing it, and I was like, just at this point in time, like growing up, I was good at a lot of shit. It was just, but I didn't have any backing behind me. I mean, shout out to my Uncle Jay. Shout out to my Uncle Jay for always. I mean, like, yo, I made some songs. I showed you the songs, how dope it could be, and he was proud of me. And I was after that, I was like, I'm cool. As long as my uncle was 9 to said, you might as well say be the kid. He's on the list, some shit like that, right? Right. And then I just proved him right. It was like, look, I can spit. Your nephew, your son can make music, and we make good music. And it just stopped it because this shit's over fucking crowded, so polluted. It's not like
saturated.
It's oversaturated. It's not like a thing where it's like the gifted rise to the top. It's like
it's not anymore. Bro. It's not.
Fuck that shit. And I was like, when I look at that and I figured that out, and I was like, yeah, well, fuck the world. You don't need to hear my shit. God damn it, I know I can goddamn do it. And I walk away from it. I'm like, I'm gonna do something else.
Right. And that actually segues into my music career as well, where I was really doing the legwork, guys. Like I was releasing project after project after project, putting out music videos, all that type of shit, right? And here's like shout out to Patrice O'Neal. He said I was funny until I got into the comedy business. Because, and the reason why he says that is because you think that as you're funny? You like to tell jokes? Well, you just want to make people laugh, right? Is that what you want to do? Fucks no, nigga. That's not what it fucking is, dude.
Got him.
That's not what it fucking is. Once you get into the business side of whatever your passion may be, that's the deciding factor. I had this conversation with, shout out to Ray Ellie again. We were having a conversation in the kitchen one day, you know. We came over to our parents' place and we're just chopping it up. He just gotten back from New York. And
you just got back from New York.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, so we had this conversation where, see, I'm the type of person, this is the reason why I actually started with an art degree in college. I was gonna do excuse me. I was going to do art for video games and things like that, like character design, level design, shit like that. And yeah, exactly. It was stupid. And but I started to realize about 3 months in, sorry, I swallowed my spit. I started to realize about 3 months in that when you're just drawing still lifes all the time, like you have a project where you have to do like okay, by Friday you need to have 10 still lifes done of random objects around your house. Once it became a job, I immediately started to lose passion for it, because as an artist, Exactly. As an artist, there's like, you have like your artistic integrity where you basically just have to allow the creative juices to flow to create something, right? And then after it's released, then there's the subjective aspect of people fuck with it or not. So I was making this music and I was trying to establish myself as having a very different sound, a very different flow, a very different message. I would put words together that literally are almost fucking impossible to stack behind each other.
Back.
But almost impossible to stack behind each other and then just force myself to do it because I'm just like, I don't want to be imitatable, right? But here's the fucking problem with that. This is a conversation I had with him where my brother was just like, is this something you really want? And I'm just like, yeah, but I want to do it on my own terms. And he's just like, then you shouldn't be in this business because you're going to have to go along to get along. You're going to have to do what the mainstream dictates you do until you reach a certain point, and then you can release your creative stuff. Once you've established yourself under the mainstream sound. And I literally sat with it for months. I didn't make music at all after that conversation. And I really thought about it. And I even had to come to him just like, I don't know if this is what it is. I don't know if I want to rap anymore. You know what I mean? Because when I create a song, I'm giving you a piece of me. I'm giving you a piece of me in a way that I'm trying to make entertaining for you. So the halfway point is to make music that sounds mainstream, but just say what you want to say, right? So I transitioned to that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this shit a try, right? I didn't fuck with it. I still don't fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like the songs I released were quote unquote good on paper, but I didn't have any like soul behind it. You know what I mean? I was trying to put a square peg into a round hole. And that's the reason why like in the past year, past year and a half, I probably only made like 6 songs or something like that. And it's because like the passion isn't there anymore. So for me, it's like, I don't know, because now I understand like the marketing aspect, like I got people in my corner, like all types of shit like that. If I really want to keep pursuing it and put money into it, I could probably make it because I have the skill set. I have the, whatever. But should I let it go because I feel like I'm lying to myself? You know what I mean? Like I feel like a phony. I feel like I'm fake. Like I'm just like I have to wear the same fucking, I have to wear a gold chain and like look like fucking A$AP Rocky or some shit, and then like have that image to fucking fit in with everybody else. So shout out to Joyner Lucas, who basically he's doing things the way I wanted to do it, but because of his super fast rapping style, I was trying to like, you know, like mix up slow and fast or whatever, but because it was and he did covers. That was the secret to his fucking success, is he would do covers on other people's beats and then remix it with some crazy fucking lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And that was enough to get him the fame to be able to like get the attention to where he didn't even necessarily have to do so many songs where he had to conform, but he did have those songs. If you listen to his albums, he definitely had those songs. But those aren't the ones I listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a fuck about mainstream sound. I don't give a fuck about what's popping right now. I give a fuck about the art form. I give a fuck about lyrics. I give a fuck about, are you different? What are you saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm so fucking selective about that shit. So I can totally relate to where you just reach this fork in the road where it's just like, I could do this, but should I? You know what I mean? Am I gonna be able to sleep at the end of the night? But you know, there's the phrase that goes, would you rather cry in a Honda or cry in a Bentley? You know what I'm saying? So it really just comes down to it. But the problem with the art industry is that like, you're either all in or you're not in. That's why Hopsin ran into that issue where he would release a project, disappear for a year, and then his fan base would decrease, then come back, release a project, disappear for another year or two. And then and he even talked about it. He said, because I wasn't all in, I'm not as big as I probably should be because my fan base was expecting something and I just didn't deliver. You know what I mean? So, okay, so I think we both had similar experiences like that. So here's another question in terms of Let's see what time it is. In terms of giving up or letting go, because we just went over dreams. Now, how about giving up on people or letting go of people? And here's what I mean by that. You love this person, like whether it be a friend or in a relationship. You love this person, you want the best for them, but maybe they don't want the best for themselves, or they're not putting the type of effort that they should be to improve their position. And so I could think of tons of people that in my life where this has been the case, where it's just like, I'm not going to work harder than you are on yourself. And then do you have any examples of relationships, whether that be friendship or intimate relationships, where you had to come to that fork in the road where you're just like, I got to let you go? Because, yeah.
I'll put it like this. Me and my boys are still boys. It's like we all we started off together from middle school, high school, and then entered the job market. Some of us entered the job market in high school. I did, and then stuff like that. And then some of us did other things, like went to the Marine Corps. Me and my brother did. We did that. And it was dope about that is like me and my brother now are both just in dog, we build spaceships. We build spaceships. And then we look at our peer group.
And shit.
We look at our peer group and we look at what they do for a living. Like some people are doing pretty well, you know. And then most others are just, they're surviving. They're still doing survival shit like that. But it's like, oh man. I mean, I haven't given up on them. Nah, I mean, I let them go, like as in, like they do their thing, I do my thing.
Right.
But it was just like, are we in different fields now as we're adults? I'm like, fuck yeah, we're in different fields. Like, some niggas are still in the fields they started off when we was teenagers. Some niggas are doing some shit like they didn't expect themselves to be doing.
Right.
And it was like dope. It was like I can project everything. Like, I still got my resume from the time. I was like, yo, I started off as like a bus boy at fucking Texas Roadhouse, and then
bro, you were a bus boy there too?
Yeah.
That shit sucked, nigga.
What? I had fun. Fuck you.
I mean, like, the people were cool, but the job sucked.
Nigga, I had fun. I was having fun. I was just like, everything was a race. Like, yo. So me, our boy Matthias. So Matthias, my brother Jay used to work over there at Texas Roadhouse, the same one at the same time. So what had happened was like, well, I'm always laughing and joking. I'm always playing a game or some shit like that, unless I'm serious when I'm working. But I remember we had a bet, and then I would just like run up on Matt's, like on Matthias's table, and he'll be sitting there busting the table, and I'll take my shit, and I'll take all my dishes, and I'll put it in his bag, in his bucket.
You're a dick.
And then I'll run off. And
so he turns around like, what the fuck is this?
He'll turn around and be like, all right, cool, I'm good. Why is this heavy all of a sudden? Now be sitting there just on the other side. He's like, God damn it, Q.
Bro, yeah, I got you.
Oh, man. I was a menace. I'm still a menace.
There we go.
I'm still a menace even as an adult and whatever in the field that I'm in. Like, I'm in a field that is dope. It's dope. Mm-hmm. And it creates opportunity. But it's like, I gave up. I let go. I didn't let go of... rapping was cool, don't get me wrong. And everybody else that ever came out these days, like, I love listening to music, and it's dope as hell that there's other people that continue doing music. And I was like, all right, we're gonna have people that's gonna continue to do this shit anyway, so I might as well just go do something else that I find interesting. I mean, I could spit with them, I could make beats and shit. I was like, nah, it's too much of a subjective kind of environment to where, well, it's like you show somebody a dope ass song and they have a reservation against the artist that you showing them, even though that motherfucker's dope. Or it's like when Drake was showing some chick showing his music. She's like, damn, it's like, who's this? He's like, me, girl. She was like, oh, word, true shit. And then she asked if I could listen to Ludacris. And Carl Ross made me feel like I was losing shit. I was like, nigga, you ain't be fucking with me way back then, but how about now? Cause I'm up right now, and you stuck right now. You thought you had it all figured out back there, girl. How about now? And you know, that's where it's comes from. But it's like, I ain't want to be in that type of artistry where it's just subjective and just some people feel some shit like that. I'm like, fuck how you feel. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Luckily, I have a mechanical aptitude, so I'm like, look, man, this is how you gonna feel when your car is running smooth as shit and you press on the goddamn brakes and them bitches work. It's like, oh my god, my brakes work better than before.
Right.
Some shit like that. It's very objective right there. It's something that actually provides a goddamn benefit or a fucking job like that. And it's just like, but artistry shit, that's just something I do in my personal free time with me and my partner here. We do 31 Summers project, but it's not like something where we ain't about to expect people to be like just fall in love with this. It's just because we just have a love of the game and a love of the art form of creating this shit, and after that it's just like, man, y'all take it how you want it.
Right. I mean, but specific to like relationships, like friendships.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you had like ex-girlfriends or something like that, where something like that has happened, where it's like you're doing your due diligence.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And
gotcha.
like so we have a friend. I'm not going to say his name, but you know who I'm going to be referring to. Where I've had a lot of talks with him about, you know, his life choices.
Right.
One being like alcoholism and things like that. And see, my dad's a therapist. I suggested him, you know, getting therapy. I've tried to talk him through stuff, even from like a spiritual aspect or whatever, because he was raised Catholic, and so
that nigga's Catholic?
well, yeah, he's Mexican, so yeah, like he was raised Catholic.
All right, okay. No, but that nigga does not act like that.
No, well, no, just because he was raised that way doesn't mean he is that way. You know what I mean?
Catholic.
Like you know, basically doing my due diligence on trying to be a good friend. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And offering them the resources, talking to him on a consistent basis, and trying to get him to turn over a new leaf.
Fuck that shit.
Well,
I'm giving up. No.
I didn't pursue this for very long because I ran to a brick wall where it's just like he's not willing to do these things for himself.
Then like, fuck you.
And that's why I basically just said, you know, sometimes you gotta love people from a distance. You know what I mean? And you know, I have no ill will against him. I don't have any ill will against him. I don't harbor any negative feelings, really, except for the time when he broke my fucking lamp and stole the money off my counter. I remember that shit, nigga. But other than that...
Why'd he break the lamp?
Nigga, I have no idea. I was asleep, and then, like, it was first thing in the morning, and I just hear a fucking crash in the next room, and I'm just like, you know what? He broke something. I don't know how, but I'm going back to sleep. And, like, so when I finally did get up, I see that the fucking lamp is shattered, and then the money that, I have a test for people. I actually leave money on my counter on purpose to see if people that I bring into my house will take it, and then I know how to excommunicate you from my life, right? And then so, because if you're willing to steal from your boy, then obviously we ain't boys. You know what I'm saying? You could just ask me for the money.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
But just like, yo, dog, look, man, look, I'm kind of at this point, I kind of just, I need help. I just need to get something to get me from point A to point B right now. You got,
nigga, I got you.
It's like, all right, nigga, my nigga, I got you.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, but it reached a point where it's just like, I can't overinvest energy into somebody who isn't investing in themselves. So at that point, it's just like, you know, I don't have any ill will against you, but I just can't associate with you anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't fuck with you like that. You know what I mean?
So I'm trying to go somewhere.
Exactly. Like, I have goals, aspirations, and my time is short, limited, and valuable. And so you handle your shit, and good luck to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, so there's been, like, situations like that, but then I've also had situations, with females. Romantic interest, where I'm doing everything I'm supposed to fucking do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm going above and beyond the Call of Duty in terms of not only am I, you know, being dream boyfriend and shit like that, by like getting like buying you gifts, taking you places, You know what I mean? Like make it like having eyes only for you, ignoring all the other bitches around. And then once you get past a certain point in a relationship, when you know somebody, like I'm a serial monogamous. I've been in keep going from long-term relationship to long-term relationship. You get to a certain point where then their issues start to bubble to the surface, right? And just like we all have issues, right? And you have a choice to make at that moment where it's just like, is this the type of crazy that I'm willing to deal with, right?
Type of dynamic in the relationship.
Yeah, because it's just like, you know, like, it's like, does your crazy meld with my crazy, or does your crazy make my crazy go nuts, right? It's like because everybody's got their own type of crazy, you know what I mean? But are we able to work through with each other's crazy? Is it explosive, or is it something to where these things can be worked through, right? And so me being, you know, I've been Captain Save-A-Ho too many times. I wouldn't even really ask myself that question. I ask that question now, you know what I mean? But back in the past, it was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter what it is. We're gonna work through this, right? There comes a day where there's a tipping point where eventually the mental state of the other person wins, right? It doesn't matter how much you may care for that person, they care for you. If they haven't done any work, maybe going through therapy or something like that, some people may need medication, whatever. But if they haven't done any work, there's a tipping point to where it's just like, am I going to continue down this path with somebody who is not willing to acknowledge their problems? Oh, hell no! You know what I mean?
My hand slipped. My bad.
Oh, no worries. Like, no, like someone who won't acknowledge their issues, without self-awareness, or somebody where when you confront them on said brought up issues, all of a sudden it's a problem because you're being just a little bit too honest. You know what I mean? In those type of situations, me personally, I don't consider it giving up, because at the end of the day, if I've done my due diligence, if I've done everything in my power, if I've exercised every drop of patience and understanding and empathy, that there's a point where it's just like, I'm gonna go to sleep. No,
What happened when I pressed this? Ejectocito, cuz!
I'm gonna be able to go to sleep comfortably knowing that I did everything I could do. So once again, sometimes you gotta love people from a distance, but it's just like, I kinda can't do it. You're always gonna be in my heart. I always remember you. But I guess it just wasn't meant to be. You know, I thought about you.
Now it's time for him to go ahead and be a goddamn.
I'm a dog, nigga.
Okay. All right, we won't turn him to a dog. We won't turn him to a dog. It'll just be decompress, analyze the situation, and then that way, when you don't give up, man. I hope you don't give up, because if you give up after this situation, and then it doesn't mean you win. It means that other person wins, and that other person goes to get your heart, your soul, some shit like that, and she just goes, "Gotcha, bitch." You want to hear that shit? You want to hear?
Well, no, it's nothing like that, man. I'm not currently in a situation like that. But I have been in situations like that where it's like, I had to like literally reflect on one of my relationships that I had way long ago. It was almost 4 years long, and I had to reflect on what happened. And then when I was literally thinking back, I'm just like, she was legit like crazy, but I was so looking past all of the issues that I literally just ignored stuff. Like I'm talking about like when she's literally just like breaking shit and like trying to fight her mom and type of shit, like all type of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just come home one day and then there's just broken glass everywhere, and apparently it's because she threw a plate at the wall trying to hit her mom. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know what I mean? And like, so, like, I've been in situations like that where it's just like, sometimes, like I said, You know what I mean? Like, I don't personally consider it giving up, especially considering that it's like, run. But I don't like. I think that there's a tipping point. You know what I mean? Now you could go to the other extreme where it's just like if you're just if you're no nonsense and you basically want them to come into the door a completely finished product. I don't blame you. You know what I mean? Honestly, that is the healthiest and fastest way to get going to where you want to go. I'm sure. Maybe it's just me personally, where like I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm not a perfect person, and there are things that'll probably come up in the context of our relationship that are going to bug her, or that she's gonna consider a quote unquote red flag or whatever. So I look at it like, okay, if I give you this understanding, maybe you can understand me as well, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know if that's the healthiest thing to do. Well, actually, no. If my father were here, who's a therapist, he would say it's not a smart thing to engage with a project chick, meaning that you have to build her from the ground up into what you want. But I'd like to refer to Patrice O'Neal as well when he says that you kind of have to customize your girl for you. And I kind of go towards that side a little more, because it's like, okay, these are your issues. These are my issues. Mm-hmm. If our issues aren't creating some type of codependent relationship where we're trying to work out our problems through each other, you know what I mean? Which never fucking works. Then we can probably make something happen here. As long as there's at least one healthy person in the relationship, then that has a patience, then the relationship can function as long as the other person gets the help that they need. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, what do you think about that? Because I've been monologuing here for a second. Like, what do you think about, in the context of relationships, you know, giving up, like what's your giving up point? What's your, like, or what constitutes it being as letting go, maybe with love? You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
That came from down deep.
Nigga, this last week was a fucking trying week. This shit is like a battle every week, but it's like we get better at it as we go along in these battles together. Me and my partner, don't worry about it. It's like man, my partner, we just like, it's nigga, this shit's a goddamn battles, like loving up and giving up. I was like, yo, I caught the silent treatment because of some discrepancy that wasn't my fault, but I was involved, but the damn self wasn't my damn fault, and the silent treatment kicks in. So if anybody ever gives you the silent treatment is not a thing that's ineffective. The silent treatment, it is a sneaky attack. It is a ghost, it's a Macbeth dagger coming into you, just stabbing you in the back and, you know, flying your goddamn heart. Yo, you ever give anybody a silent treatment to try to get them to confirm, you might be a piece of shit. I mean, shit.
What did you say, nigga?
Shit. But like, luckily, we was able to recover, because in this point in my time, I had to apologize. Even though it wasn't technically my fault, I still should have apologized for the things. Like, look, I apologize for just ... even though it wasn't my goddamn fault. But like when I was catching that silent treatment is a fucking tack. It's a threat. It's like,
it's passive aggression.
It's passive aggression like a motherfucker. And at this point, I was like, yo, the way I thought I'd deal with that shit, but after a while, the weight on me. And it was just like, after a while, I was like, yo, I might have to cut this shit the fuck out. I can't do this no more. Right. I don't got the strength to deal with some shit like that no more.
Help me!
Like, help me, help us. Like, I can't. And I was at this point where, am I willing to let go or give up? I was like, nigga, any way it goes, like, I'm about to be free in this bitch. Nigga, I went to a silent party with my boy. Nigga, I seen some chick over there that would try to get me to give her a goddamn baby from like 7 years ago and shit. Like, nigga, I disappeared out that time. She didn't recognize me this time, so I ain't have to worry about that disappearing act. But nigga, there was like beautiful women all over the place just looking. It was like, man, a couple of them just screaming, looking at your boy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, yo, but I wasn't ready to fucking give up. I mean, I wasn't ready to give up, and obviously my partner wasn't ready to give up. But when I kind of admitted to my partner that I was ready to just pack my shit and be up out that motherfucker, they felt some kind of way. But it's like, yo, I get to feel this way because that's just the way I fucking felt. That shit was tough. And like to figure out what do you want to give up, or like give up is just, give up feels like, it's just like, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I'm about
done.
to bust.
Yeah, and it's just like, and to leave is just, you just rather be on your own or some shit, find something better. But like, man, it was hard because I don't want to give up on my partner. I mean, me and my partner was like, yo, we usually adapt, but damn, that shit is hard as fucking hell and difficult. And luckily, both of us are willing to adapt, and usually we do get through the end of that shit. But like, nigga, that shit is fucking trying. It's a battle royale of shit. And luckily, I got luckily, like me and my partner, she adapts to me and I adapt to her, and we figured it out. But damn, nigga, like that goddamn, like, yo, fuck that shit. Yo, any kid comes up to me, he described that feeling. I'm like, lead, nigga, run, bitch, run. That pain is just hard. You better, nigga, fuck no, that shit ain't for the weak. That type of pain is not for the goddamn. That shit happens. Like, niggas be checking out the fucking game on that shit.
All right. Now, with all that being said, I have to play devil's advocate a little bit. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal again, who was talking about the context of his relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And when he was explaining to his girl about basically like how he was establishing their roles and stuff like that, right? And he said something that I really took to heart, where he had to tell her, it's not your job to make me miserable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in the context of a relationship, right? If this is my personal opinion, and maybe you agree or disagree, we'll see. That if you're in a mental space where you're going to be either passive aggressive,
fuck that shit,
active aggressive,
fuck that shit,
or
too.
silent, which is passive aggressive, then that's a personal issue, right? That's a personal problem. See, whenever I'm in a headspace that may be negative, I literally make it known. I just say, you know what? I'm not feeling this right now, and I'm just gonna go over here and just give me a few minutes. Give me 10, 15 minutes, maybe even an hour to just kind of be in my own space, work these thoughts out, and I'll get back to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The difference with, from what I've experienced personally with a lot of women, is that one of two things is going to happen. One, they'll be understanding, and two, they won't. And if it's the won't, there's a few different things that can happen. If you try to separate yourself, they'll follow you with the fucking problem.
That's scary as shit.
Dude,
like,
it's happened to me.
I am willing to leave this environment.
It has happened to me, bro.
The whole fucking environment moves with me. Like, bitch, what?
I've been assaulted trying to leave a situation before.
It's like, I'm walking on sunshine, cloudy days. It's like, oh, let me go over here now.
Yeah,
I'm
like
walking on some cloudy days.
A situation where it's like you're expressing your emotions that like you may be feeling in a certain way, and then they turn it personal. And then because you, like, my thing is that I'm very introspective. I like to take time to be isolated so that I can work my way through my thoughts. And it was like a situation where it was like I was feeling a certain way, and the fact I wanted to be by myself, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy because I don't want to talk about it right now while I'm feeling fucked up.
Yeah, because you
know
can
what I
say
mean?
some fucked up, evil shit at that point. She's like, say it to me. I'm used to it. It's like, goddamn, say it. He was like, no, nigga, I need to calm down so I can gather my thoughts and say the shit correctly on how I goddamn feel in the calm state.
Right.
Now, when I'm in an erratic, manic state right now, I gotta remove myself and I gotta go over here. Say this with your chest, then just say how you feel right now. God damn it, don't you like, nah, nigga, like, no. I grew up in a somewhat semi-healthy and goddamn environment where we gotta go over there, sort the shit out, say what and you gotta mean what you say and you gotta say what you mean.
Yeah, man.
Because otherwise, nah, I mean, like, nah. Like, that's why I take times with my thoughts and my goddamn words. I mean, it's not seem like it on this goddamn podcast, but fuck you, I cuss a lot. These dick bag of bitches, those fucking cheap Cherokee.
Really, nigga?
Driving in the left motherfucking lane and tell me to switch to the left lane. That bitch switched to the motherfucking
You stupid.
right lane. God damn it. Okay, that's another goddamn rant for this goddamn next day for fucking punk ass driving test motherfuckers who can't tell the difference between somebody making a fucking defensive maneuver and you just being annoying as shit because you following the instruction of the fucking goddamn instructor and shit. Fuck you. Okay, lady, hope you have a nice day, but fuck you still. Anyway, but yeah, it's like shit. Yeah, I'm trying to remove myself from this fucking toxic environment right now. It's emotionally charged and I need to be correct.
Right. You want to come correct, especially if maybe you guys get into a disagreement or an argument. And,
Fucking drivers.
shout out to my dad for giving me some of the best advice I've ever gotten, which was like, if you feel like things are getting too emotionally charged, just leave.
Hell yeah.
Leave the house.
Run.
Go take a walk,
Run.
whatever you got to do.
Float. Jump tired in the fucking twin-story building. Fuck out. Run faster than a speeding locomotive. Get the fuck out that environment.
Right, exactly. Because, like, you don't want to, if you continue to engage, it can get to a point where emotional abuse or emotional violence will start to happen, and then it can transition to physical.
I had to smoke a cigar. Don't get me wrong, I love cigars, but only end up smoking when I'm under extreme fucking
You're waiting
stress.
to get to an argument so you could go smoke a cigar.
Oh man, I'm not looking forward to that shit. But at that point, I couldn't handle that shit, and I had to go to the cigar shop and just light me up one, and just fucking breathe because that shit I had to. And after I smoked, it helped me calm down because like ADHD's motherfucking. Luckily, nicotine helps out with that, especially with cigars. So fuck that. So I had to calm down.
I'm gonna have to start bringing some cigars in here, bro, because you for real got that. Like,
shit.
You've been great today, but. But yeah. To your point, you separate yourself from the situation, right? And this is the reason why it's just like here. No, okay. So let's get real specific, all right? Giving up versus letting go. Can you give up the argument? Okay, like if you're having a dispute with your significant other, is it giving up to basically just be like, you're right, and just walk away? Or is it letting go? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like you're giving up in the context of an argument, or do you feel like you're letting go of the argument so that you just don't want to have it?
I mean, that's giving up because like they're saying you gotta pick your goddamn battles or some shit like that. That part would be giving up because like, look, I don't feel like arguing over this. This is not important to me at all in the slightest. God damn it. It's like, it's important to me. It's like, why? This shit doesn't make any sense. It's not gonna be anything that's relevant in a forward time period from now. It's not gonna be relevant at all. Not even the slightest. Not even a little bit. By the time the shit came out of your goddamn mouth, the shit was already out fucking dated. Damn it. Shit, it was expired milk when it came out of your goddamn mouth. Shit.
Yeah, and honestly, I share the same point, and maybe it's because like I'm just so used to arguing.
Fuck that, man.
That like, here's the thing, I'm not gonna argue a point that I'm not gonna argue a point that I don't fucking know about. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be the first one to admit if we're having a conversation, I don't know anything about that. I can't talk on it. You know what I'm saying? But if we're having an argument about facts, I'll literally stand there. The only time that I say you're right in the context of that type of situation is specifically just to shut them up. And I'll even go a step further, so it's almost passive aggression, because I'm like, you're right. Okay, now what? You're right. Now what? What's your next thing? What's your next thing? You are right. You're so right. What's part two? What's part two to this argument? And then they don't have anything because they knew they were arguing to be. They knew they were wrong, but they were arguing to argue. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the argument fuels itself. You know what I mean? So sometimes you gotta throw a monkey wrench in that bitch and just be like, no, you're right. Go into detail on elaborate a little bit more. Now that I've acknowledged that you're right, why don't you elaborate and give me more details as to why you're right? You'll get silence, bro.
It's a bunch of stumbling goddamn block, like
silence, man.
Shit, like what was it? The most interesting thing of this week was the Brittany Renner Kevin Samuels goddamn interview.
I just saw that. Shout out to Kevin Samuels.
It was a good interview. I mean, it was a good interview. Some part of it didn't think it was a good interview.
Really?
But of course,
okay.
like,
of course not.
It's like the recipe with Kev shit. Like when they come across it, like when you finally get to introduce him to a video of Kevin Samuels, and then they hear it, and he's just like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
Preconceived notions.
Like this nigga's 53 years old.
He knows more than you do. Trust.
That's a lot of experience in those 53 years. That's not twice my age.
Almost twice our age, though.
It's not twice, but 20-year gap is a 1.66%.
Yeah, like
gap of experience and shit like that. And he's just looking at this shit, and I'm looking at it. And I looked at it and saw shit was all kind of weird and fucked up over here. And this old man is looking. No offense to call him old man, was like looking at it and looking shit's all fucked up. And it's like, man. But it's like, she was asking me what I like about him. I was like, look, if it wasn't for this motherfucker right here, this situation would not have occurred between us because I was on a
real shit, bro.
I was on a path of
real shit, my
fuck
guy.
you, I'm in the goddamn basement, I'm playing video games, I'm drinking goddamn club soda.
No, real shit. Yeah, like once again, shout out to Kevin Samuels because like he actually rekindled my desire for a long-term relationship.
Yeah. I was like, I was anti that shit. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm out.
Right? Yeah, dude. I was about to give up.
I was like
straight up, dude.
Man. I'll just go fly. I'll just go fly back and forth to different areas that need some shit.
Yeah. This camera. But okay, and then that. Well, I mean, I guess we don't really have to go into detail into the interview, but like. So when it comes to so we only got like 8 minutes left. So
don't tell them that. Just all right, go.
No. Like no, I've said it before. Like what? Okay, so I guess closing thoughts on just the subject. Like so, like giving up versus letting go. Like, do you think it's important for people to have the awareness? Do you think it's more important for people to have the awareness of when they should stop? Or people to have more of a mindset to not give up?
I say I would go with not give up over knowing when to stop, because at least like when you know when not to give up is if you keep persevering through some shit right there, maybe you might end up getting the results that you wanted better. Like it's at that down bottom out when you fucking exhausted and you just keep glowing. It's like you ever seen John Wick 3 when he's in that desert and that motherfucker just passed out, how they bury his ass like, yo, here's your water, blah blah blah. Spit it all up in the water bottle. Yeah, nigga, there's your water. And then John's going through that desert and he finally just walks for so much long of a time period. He finally passes out from literal exhaustion and then he wakes up underneath the one above the table.
Right.
And then he didn't give up. His body gave up and he just passed out. He didn't leave it, and then that's what the fuck happened. He ended up waking up to the place he needed to wake up to. Now for my situation, I'll say I didn't give up because I don't want to give up. It's something that I'm not giving up. It's hard because we're still configuring. It's still a configuration of getting our frequencies aligned. And it's like maybe at some modes it's like everything's in sync, and at others we're out of sync. And it's just working that shit and getting used to that type of thing right there, to where I was just willing to let it go and or I was willing to give up or let go, and then it was like, nah, just something's there, and I have a little bit of faith, and it turns out I was right.
Right, and I think the difficult part about this conversation, man, is that like there's no real way to legitimately tell if it was the right decision to give up or let go until you're looking at it in hindsight.
Hold on.
You know what I mean? But you know, what if you know, like I was what if I was dating a murderer? You know what I'm saying? Like should I just get like
Call the cops.
What if I was into that shit? That's why. No, like
I'm calling the cops.
Okay. How about something less? Like, what if they were a kleptomaniac, and I was holding on to the possibility
she'll steal your
not
heart.
giving up on her because everything else about, let's say she's a kleptomaniac, but she checks all of my other boxes.
Is she trying to steal every second, every way, like the criminal she is?
Well,
Is she a little bit of loneliness, a little bit of disregard.
Kleptomaniac means that they're it's compulsory. So but there's a possibility that if she got help, that she could stop, right? Like,
tell her to get help on her goddamn own and walk away.
Well, but that's what I'm saying though.
Is
because
more
like
shit from you.
That's what makes this conversation so difficult. Is because when you're talking about people, you have to, like, I almost feel like you have to allow people the opportunity to change.
They have all
I mean?
the opportunity to change on their own. Like you have the opportunity. You notice there's a problem. You have to go and fucking get the goddamn help that you need. The resources, it's 2021. The resources and everything that you need is out there. You just don't want to face the goddamn music and face the fucking truth or some shit like that that'll disrupt your own personal fucking reality and let you know, like, this is the reality that you thought it was, and this is actually the fucking real world.
So would you say that you have a long or a short fuse when it comes to people?
Very long, but at this point, that shit is getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
Mine started crazy long, and now it is so goddamn short, bro.
That shit feels burnt out.
Dude, like it's literally like a nub, and like as soon as somebody even says something, that I'm just like, no, I'm not fucking with that. I'll just never talk to you again.
It's like at this point, like my fuse is so short. If I saw a serial killer and I knew he was a serial killer, I'd be like, I'm like, just do your thing, dog. I'm not saying shit to nobody.
He's like, look,
I'm sick.
I ain't see nothing.
I'm like, damn, like exhaustion, like that is, or strains, relationship strains, or something like that, or just like relationship strains with different people in your fucking relationships, or the friendships, family, something like that. And I'm just like, yo, fuck that. Like, I kind of relate to Akon when he's like, rich people have a lot more problems than like poor people, because when you rich and poor people looking at you, goddamn, they're like, yo, you can solve my problems. You wasn't such a selfish piece of shit. Right. I know. What, you worked hard from the gutter, and all of a sudden you got all this shit and this thing that you created here, all of a sudden the term became worldwide successful. Like, oh yeah, dog, you should I'm like, yes, that's a fucking big problem. If I ever got rich, nobody's gonna know about shit. If anybody did know about something, shut the hell up, because I'm rich enough to make you disappear.
Right. Like, and we're pretty much out of time, but I'll end with this. That like this giving up versus letting go thing, that's pretty much like applied to like my view of like humanity. You know what I mean? Where it's literally like, I've come to a place of objectivity where it's just like, it just is what it fucking is. People are people. Mm-hmm. Niggas are like this. Bitches are like this. On a balance of probabilities, there's a spectrum on everybody's behavior, but the majority of guys act this way. The majority of girls act this way. The majority of situations will go this way. So it's more just like being honest with myself and basically just choosing, it's like, what risks am I willing to take? Am I the type of guy who's going to, spend up all of my expendable income on either gambling or playing the lottery? Probably not, because I know the odds of victory. I mean, maybe blackjack is a little different, you know what I mean? You got semi-decent odds with blackjack, right? But am I gonna be playing the Powerball every week? Fucks no, nigga. Hell no. Like, for what? You have a greater chance of being struck by lightning 1.5 times than you do of winning the lottery once, right? So, like to tie everything up in a little bow, I think that the way to process this question on giving up versus letting go is to be objective, be reasonable, but I think if it's goal-based, give yourself more leeway than you would normally expect. Because just like Hugh was saying, it may be that like once you finally hit rock bottom in the pursuit of your goal, that right on the other side of the door is your golden opportunity, right? As long as you're not tone deaf. You know what I mean?
Oh, American Idol.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not tone deaf, hit that like and subscribe button. It's your main man over at the 5280Q, passed off to my partner in crime, the Arc Reactor.
Yo, this is Kemet the Raw, representing Homeboy Etiquette here on YouTube. Also representing KMT Games and KMT Productions here on YouTube. As Q, Captain Kirk is, well, no, you're Doc.
Oh, man.
I'm
shit.
Kirk. Yeah, you're Doc.
We don't have a Spock no more.
Okay, well, we got Doc and Kirk. But, so, as Doc was just saying, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys like our type of content, subscribe to the page. Make sure that the bell notification icon is turned on and set to all, so you'll be notified anytime that we're uploading Homeboy Etiquette content. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you dislike the video, make sure to hit that dislike button. And if you have any comments or suggestions about subjects you want us to cover here in the near future, make sure to leave that in the comments down below. If you have any comments or questions or debates about the things that we talk about, make sure to leave that in the comments down below as well. And with that
being said, we're gonna keep working at the shit. We got something special. We hitting milestones on our own right now, so that way we can be able to give back to the community of the Homeboy Etiquette, people that supported us. So right at that time when it's
over 9,000
subscribers and shit like that, trust me, we got something special waiting for y'all. But even before it's
over 9,000
Vegeta, we got something special for y'all right now. So just chip in the comment section, let us know you got them opinion, so that way we know how to give out these goddamn gifts and rewards. We love y'all out there. It's Homeboy Etiquette, and peace.
Peace.